He stood unmoving in the master bedroom for some time, but did not appear anything else was going to happen. So, you decided to head somewhere else. I think after this, we looked at pretty much every quote-unquote new area, right, that we haven't been to before? Everything else is just repeats of areas we've just been to before to get to the doors, right? Pretty sure calling for the maid will be the thing that ends all this, so why don't we go in order of where we woke up and where we went, right? Fireplace. You made your way to the room with the fireplace. The remains of the fire cracked weakly, leaving the room in a veil of darkness. Well, you can put some fuel in there too, you know. You remembered that you had woken here. Out of sheer curiosity, you sat down in the rocking chair you'd been sleeping. Then you just got a dream of you waking up right here all those many minutes and hours ago. It only just happened like it was yesterday. If there even can be such thing as time here. Creak, creak, creak. It was soothing as a cradle to a baby. In short order, you found your consciousness stretching from your grasp. Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost makes it feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? I bet that's why troubadours perform at pubs, so they can be near the fire. It helps to be warm. Oh, you're such a cynic. That's okay. Say, do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library? When you first arrived here, my very first thought was, I broke into this place, but I'm gonna haphazardly clean everything. Oh god, the books that we can't even put on the shelves. God damn it. You cursed them so we can't clean them. Yeah? Okay then. So I was right. You cursed the books. How dare you? Your eyes slowly slid open. Fragments of a pleasant dream lingered in the back of your mind. A crackling of a fire, the taste of warm wine. However, there was nothing pleasant in the fireplace sitting before you. No warm, crackling flames. In fact, the brisk air of the room overpowered the remnants of embers left there. A chill ran down your spine. Afraid you might freeze stiff if you stayed there much longer, you resumed your exploration of the mansion. Part of me thinks that's actually maybe parts of memories for us, because we just keep having those when we enter certain rooms in the house. Wonder if, like, it feels like when we go to certain areas here, we have those kinds of flashbacks and memories, honestly. But I wonder how the mirror with Giselle and Michelle actually go. The thing is, the fireplace we passed through, I think the den is that parlor area. Unless it's somewhere completely different, then yeah. After that, just going down Rose Garden into the cellar. First and second door. Okay, now it's the third door. God damn it, I ruined my own order. God damn it. The scent of cigarette smoke lingered in the den. It's almost like it's been frozen time since that guy ruined his own life. However, the room was silent. Not even an echo of the men's chattering remained. Oh. Something was moving. Billiards balls. Okay. There was no one present to strike the balls. They just rolled spontaneously around the table. Look, if there's no one around to play them, then they'll play themselves. The paths they traced across the surface were rough and erratic, contrasting that of when the former master had held the cue. What, prim, poised, and proper? No. The spheres collided awkwardly with one another, not a single one coming close to the pockets. They really want to keep the game going for all time. Like experiment, you pulled a ball at the table, then everything in the room just started attacking you. How dare you interrupt our game? In response, the paths of the balls became even clumsier. Having lost one of their targets, they began bouncing aimlessly off the cushioned walls of the table. As you stared intently at the table, a man's voice rang out from somewhere in the room. Hi. I can't tell if that's Lilia. It's been a bit. I can't tell this, like, that'll be a more haggard Jacopo, or it's someone else that, or maybe another character who was, like, here in the time then, that we just never saw sprite for, maybe. It'd be another thing entirely if technically our character is someone who's been like also just immortal, honestly, just always there in the background, but we just never focus on them. It's that one guy that Maria just told here, give this perfume to your capo, and you're now part of the curse. What if it was always just that person? That'd just be interesting, honestly, because like, I've seen a lot of immortality stories where like, they don't get in trouble later on. They keep changing their name, sometimes their appearance, so they can keep in like good graces and not get people hostile against them and all that. So it could be a thing here. Spinning around, you saw the silhouette of a man. However, you could not make out what the man was saying. Nice words. The man thrust his finger at the table. He appeared to want you to return the ball. And what if I don't wanna? You reluctantly placed the billiards ball back on the table. When you did, the balls resumed endlessly colliding with one another, never landing in the pockets. Look, they're trying to have their own fun, okay? You looked up to find the shadow had gone. Having determined that the maid was not going to appear in the den, you exited the room, making your way back into the corridor. Okay, so now we should then go to salvage some part of this little order we have. Rose Garden next. I swear to God, the Rose Garden is actually going to be them. Oh wait, why does this have so much color? Okay, immediate flashbacks. Look, your head is covered in roses, Mel? Oh, Nelly, you got petals in the book. This isn't mine. I can't afford to... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's literally, the very first, like, introduction we had of, like, both Mel and Nelly, actually, at the very beginning. Though you could hear the sound of children laughing, you could not see them. Regardless, their cheerful voices warmed your heart. You started to linger there in the garden for some time. Along with the children's laughs wafted a sweet fragrance. The wind blew, whisking flower petals up into the air. It was an enchanting sight. Before it all soured and grayed. After a while, the roses began to wilt. You could no longer hear the children's voices either. Hi, I think that literally is Mel. A young man stood alone in the withered rose garden. As he drew nearer, you called out to the youth. But the young man did not appear to notice you. 2 different time eras. He merely stood there, staring vacantly across the garden. The youth muttered something in a lifeless voice. This isn't what I wanted. I just wanted a normal, peaceful life. Can't bear being alone. Can't take this. Someone, get me out of here. Oh God. Tell me that I'm not the bad one here. You tried to call out to the young man several times, but he did not seem to hear you. He simply continued muttering to himself. I wonder if it's like the thing of anyone who's been cursed is now kind of stuck in this mansion too. Like, even if, like, technically they got away, a part of them is now stuck here. Like, their soul or anything like that. That's also more terrifying to think about. God damn it. Before long, the youth's shadow faded to nothing. Unable to bear the chilly air any longer, you stepped back into the mansion. All their ghosts are just, like, around here, honestly. And it could not even be their own ghosts. It's literally just facsimiles that even the mansion is making on itself, too. I can't tell which is worse, honestly. The fact that the mansion is, like, literally just playing back its own tragedies that it may be so helped to cause, or literally part of that person's soul stuck here forever, honestly. I can't tell which is worse. One's a mockery and one's actually cruel. I cannot tell. And finally, the grand old door number 2, with all the glorious wine and blood barrels down here, and along with that scratched message that apparently Maria noticed in the ground, which seemed to have her own handwriting, which I'm more curious about. Was it actually like penned on the ground or carved in there? I can't remember that detail. Because carved, how can you notice that your handwriting is similar to a carving? Because usually you can't really notice. Like instead of just penning, like, you know, off the cuff, honestly, when you're carving it to be a bit more deliberate. Unless Maria was so used to doing that on her own self that she notices like how she tends to carve things. But if she notices her own handwriting and she knows she never read anything before, then can't tell if it's another thing where the people who are cursed, technically speaking, like just they get born into a different life entirely, and then just somehow still find their way up to the mansion. So honestly, you might not even know who the quote-unquote true form of every cursed person is, except possibly maybe like the white-haired girl. You know, literally it's probably just only the catalyst for how every person here like gets cursed, honestly. And well, including Maria technically is also the main instigator, honestly. But if her handwriting is here, then she has to be involved in some way, maybe in past iterations or anything like that. That kind of just means that the people we saw who are what was it, Kurt as well, Jacopo, Yukimaza, and Mel, are they typically the same person but born in different lives, or unless it's like a whole different bunch of different like families that are all cursed by the witch all at once, or it's just like a few people who then through reincarnation like they just spread out across the world. Which, yeah, that's one thing. Like again, if the witch like cursed a whole bunch of people, then that means if the rules for the reincarnation thing is only just like they only curse like the white-haired girl to be that way, to be the curse. Like, she looks almost practically the same every time she appears in a door here, but every other person who is like technically the target of the curse is someone who looks completely different from each other. So if the reincarnation rules only apply to technically the white-haired girl, that technically just means that when the witch cursed like all these people, then there must have been like a cultural melting pot of where a lot of people are, if we're literally going with the fact of only people's bloodlines were cursed and not individual people. So where exactly would they be taking place then if there's so many people, and like what event technically would be there and cause that? Never mind the fact that our main character, Mr. or Mrs. or theirs, you, capital Y, was also crucified. That detail's never left my mind, even after all this time. When you descended into the cellar, you heard beast-like snarling. Along with it came a sour odor and the sound of ripping flesh. You could not see the beast, but that did not make it any less unpleasant. You made your retreat from the cellar. Okay. And no, we got attacked. And we bled out. Before you could, a shadowy creature lunged at you. You reflexively squeezed your eyes shut. Hi, yeah, it's Yukimaza, and oh, like, what is the kind of outfit's called when like the collar is fanned out like that and just makes you look like Dracula? After several moments, you open your eyes again to see a silhouette of a man standing in place of the beast. You and the shadow stared at one another for some time. You asked the shadow a question, and the shadow responded. At least you have some sense to answer me. Ah, thank you for that answer. I understood every single word of that. However, you had no idea what it said. It sounded like static. That literally is just more like just Japanesely speaking his own home language, and our characters does not know how to understand that, comprehend that anyway. The only reason that we technically figured out, wait, actually, in door 2, well, I guess it's in the maid told the tale. Does that mean like we never actually heard a lick of like understand like what Yukimaza said in Japanese? Since the maid doesn't know Japanese, she can only like comprehend and like tell the story to us like of English or whatever language that she knows, and tells it to us. That's literally the only way she knows it really happened. So, she doesn't know Japanese, so anything that involved in the story, we just do not know what was said there. And it always goes to the XXX thing. Unless they like censoring someone's name. That's the only 2 times I know that happens, and so far that we can probably find a source for in the mansion here. The 3rd time is probably the mansion does not want you to know its secrets. Ooh, spookiness. The shadows seem to be trying to communicate something to you. but trying to make sense of something you could not understand was pointless. Having no reason to remain in the cellar any longer, you made your way back upstairs. And Yukimaza cried out, "No, you beast!" Oh, wait, what? That is a new choice, okay, I'm pretty sure we went there, though. Oh, wait, the mirror, yeah! Is it gonna appear now? Because, we visit everyone else? Are we gonna see, this happen? Like, the remnants from the mirror also appear here because we saw all the other doors? Don't know if, like, the mirror one would be, like, the next door or the one after that. Some reason my call is the one after the next door. Like the fifth one. You returned to the room with a stained glass window. He had searched throughout the mansion, but had no luck finding the maid. He felt somewhat tired, though you're not quite sure whether it was physical exhaustion or otherwise. He had little interest in doing any more moving about. Taking a seat in one of the pews, you gazed up at the stained glass. Staring solemnly down at you was the archangel said to weigh the souls of the deceased. Perhaps he was trying to weigh your soul. Well, he's taking a sweet time, honestly, to weigh that soul. Okay. Maid! I'm lost! Master? Master? Oh, hi. Oh, there you are, Master. Where were you this entire time? We looked at this place entire down, up and down, like 2 or 3 times all in a row. You can be quite the scare. You let go of my hand and then? And returning from the third door, you disappear without a word. Oh my, it was I who disappeared? Nuh-uh, you're just seeing things. That's quite strange. I did not go anywhere as far as I'm aware. Nevertheless, I'm glad I found you. I would have been in complete loss for what to do if I had been separated from you yet again. Yet again. I did indeed say that when you first arrived. I have been waiting for your return for a very long time. Yeah, that thing is still in there, though. The fact we're, either another person reincarnated, like the white-haired girl, like, or the witch itself, honestly, then I don't know which way to look at it. But since the painting called us, like, someone who can break the curse, my next thought was literally just someone who's reincarnated, like the white-haired girl, though. And, unless we appeared in every door so far, but we just haven't seen our face, or like he's literally just the like the non-important characters, honestly, the background characters, honestly. Oh, the biggest twist of all is that if our character is the reincarnation for been reincarnated and actually appear in every single door story, then they're always that one person who's just a bit me in the background. Biggest plot twist. We're literally the person who was engaged to be married to Nelly, honestly. Oh boy, won't that be fun. That one guy that she talked to in the theater for that blowout with her brother. I did indeed say that when you first arrived. I've been waiting for your return for a very long time. For centuries, as a matter of fact. That would make me a ghost, then, you say? I'm very much not a ghost. Well, I mean, if you're not a ghost, then, what do you classify yourself as? A ghoul? Would I be able to hold your hand if it were? I'm pretty sure ghouls can do that too. And zombies. Saying this, the maid took your hand, and it phased right through. It was cold enough to send a shudder down your spine, and completely devoid of life. Though as chilling as it may have been, you still took comfort in the feeling of her hand in yours. The maid looked down at you with gentle eyes. After a few moments of silence, she sat down beside you. The stained glass is quite beautiful, is it not? Every time I see it, it brings a tranquility to my heart. A dreadful, deep-rooted curse afflicts this mansion. However, this room is the one exception. Can you feel the purity that hangs in the air, Master? Yes, what is it, Master? Oh, you are correct. The stained glass window had been shattered and was not present in the time period of the previous tale. I wonder... Perhaps it's because the mansion we are in presently resides in a realm separate from the real world. Oh, I can already guess that immediately from the beginning here. Reminds me like what was it? Like those random stories. Honestly, when I wrote as a kid in middle school, I had a note of writing surrealist stuff think I remember trying to write something similar of him, main character waking this weird, house and a bunch of doors that actually led to, like, him, seeing memories of his own life, honestly. And then, like, him, this giant monster, which was almost a Frankenstein-like thing, of a whole bunch of different body parts. It was only, like, well, the main character, like, was obviously scared of the monster and it always ran away. But, after going through all the doors, I planned that, he just confronts it, and the monster was never a threat at all. It was almost like welcoming him back, honestly. I was literally gonna have a tiny thing about him, the monsters actually was to be hinted as a bunch of destroyed stuffed animals and stuff like that he had as a kid, and they're all mixed together into a little toy chest he had. I love the idea of a creature or a monster so much. I want to keep trying to use that somehow. Yeah, the story was not that good, honestly. I didn't have anything planned besides that, and just one or two memories, which I can't even remember at this point. But yeah, well, this is doing a better job being so surreal, and I'm doing the whole memory thing as well. It just feels like an extended version of my first idea as a kid. I think that was in elementary or middle school when I first thought of that. Perhaps it's because the mansion we are presently resides in a realm separate from the real world. We are in a world constructed from myriad memories and histories. I'm sure that when you regain your old self, Master, the mansion too shall be restored to its original state. If you get your memories back. Does that mean, like, the mansion will now just suddenly appear in the rest of the world, since we now know the reason why we're here? Or we know why we're called here, with a sense or a goal in mind? The mansion's like, oh, so now you have that? Okay, back to the real world we go. I don't think there was any other characters, well, besides Yuki Maz in the second door. Like, broken memories and all that. It must be something different about us then, because Yuki Maz in the same exact position, came to the mansion. Well, the mansion was already in the world, and he stumbled across it. And then all that happened, but instead we woke up in here. I wonder what's the biggest difference then between us. And having a fun time comparing us to a bloodthirsty maniac. There's that too. So do try and remember, alright? Oh, yes. Where did you go in my absence, Master? Everywhere. I see. To explore the mansion, then. And did you find anything noteworthy? I found some pretty cool paintings. Memories? I'm not quite sure what you mean. How peculiar. As I'm serving this mansion, I pride myself in being aware of most everything present within these walls. I account for every single rat. I named them all. This one's name is Jeffrey. That one's name is fucking Jerry. I wonder whose memories they could be. It could always just be like they're not our memories, but that has to be connected to the other doors, which part of me doesn't really know if it would just be. I mean, I guess it's not even a thing of like it can't be that easy. It's not even just that, but like, would it really showcase that so soon? The key to the master bedroom. Why'd I throw away the key? I beg your pardon? I still have the key right in my pocket. Pulls it out. We got 2 copies. You say a painting told you. Master, are you quite right in the head? I know this mansion is weird, but still. You could see the perplexity in the maid's face. He had never seen her make such an expression before. I know nothing of any key. Oh, Master, you should not tell jokes meant to cause others discomfort. But a talking painting, you say? You seem to have a rather vivid imagination. Maybe you can tell the next tale, Master. Okay, then I'll lead the way to the next door and just tell my own self. Don't let go of my hand now, and don't you dare look away and try to read the story the other way. Honestly, I'm trying to tell you the story. Don't get disinterested in my tale. I'm only teasing. Now, that was a nice break, but we should get moving. The tale I'm about to show you is the last of the mansion's memories. I'm certain you will remember yourself after seeing it. To our feet. The final door is not far. And please, do not let go of my hand. Holding your hand, the maid led you to the far end of the room. The far end of this room? With the stained glass. Crossing beneath a stained glass window, a metal door came to view. It looks like a dungeon door. Huh. Our destination lies at the top of these stairs. There, we'll find one last door. The last door? She pushed open the metal door. So is the fifth door actually being the finale then? Revealing a long, long spiral staircase. Oh. I can't tell if this is actually a drawing or an actual picture with a stylized filter over it. Huh. It will be a bit of a walk, so let's be on our way. It just looks like we're going to... Oh, we're heading up one of the towers that we saw in I think Michelle and Michelle mirror memory too. Are we gonna see a wizard in times past up at this wizard tower? It'll be a bit of a walk, so let's be on our way. And please, do you watch your step? If you trip, I have to keep holding your hand. I do not want to go sliding down all the stairs with you. This is called an observation tower. Normally, towers such as this were built in castles or churches, so it is rather strange for there to be one in the mansion. The last door I wish to show you, Master, resides at the top of this tower. Rectangular windows were carved out of the stone in several locations along the way up to the spiral staircase. You tended to peer out one of the windows, but all you could see was a thick layer of fog. Like, is it a bit more colorful, like in the picture, or just in still darkness? It was still dark, honestly, in the first floor looking outside a window, but it's up here like it's more gray. So the closer we get to the surface, to the clouds and the heavens, it just gets more white. That'd be weirdly symbolic. Perhaps the maid's suggestion that the mansion did not presently reside in reality was, in fact, correct. The mansion instead, chose you as the one person to be cursed. So it was like, nah, let's not curse no real well. Let's curse you into this other alternate dimension. That'd be better. That'd be a better way to fit you. With each step upward, you find yourself gripped by an indescribable sense of anxiety. The feeling somewhat resembled irritation or annoyance. Annoyed anxiety. Why am I so anxious? I don't want to be anxious, that feeling. Sensing this, the maid tightly gripped your hand. There's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. It is all in the past. No matter what may happen, so long as you do not let go of my hand, you have nothing to fear. You and the maid continue climbing the stairs. Up and up, around and around, marching ever nearer the supposed final door, which is not so final. I'm still convinced there's 5. Because 5 is a good number. Why would you want to leave off on 4 with the cursed 4 number? Wasn't it it was cursed and oh god, I can't remember. I think it's if you translate the number 4, one of the translations from 4 thing it's either in Chinese or Japanese, then can also sound like the word of death. So yeah, let's not end on 4, please. High up into the tower, as the light from below drew distant, a rotten wood door came to view. Fancy, there's little spirals all over. Patches of what appear to be blood stain the surface, and holes have been poured into with sharp objects of some sort. They got an ice pick or an owl and just poked through the door? You heard a scream from far below, where no one should have been. I mean, we literally just searched the entire mansion, so yeah. Kill the witch! Kill the witch! Kill the witch! Burn her! Burn her! Burn her! Wait, so we're gonna see the actual, the witch here? Then is the 5th door gonna be us then? Huh. Huh. You're struck with fear. Next moment, the maid opened the door. And then... you are engulfed in complete darkness and swallowed whole. You slowly descended into darkness. The 4th door. What time period is this in? 1099. Oh, Jesus. I wonder if the writers had to, literally had to focus on making sure to get accents right from back in those time periods. That'd be a nightmare. Set on a pot, set it on, and also pour water into it. Gather pieces thereof into it, even every good piece, the thigh, the shoulder. Fill it with the choice bones. Take the choice of the flock, and burn also the bones under it. Make it boil well. Let them seize the bones of it therein. Thus saith the Lord, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece. Let no lot fall upon it. Oh, are we really gonna be following her this time? Instead of not being oh god, is this really just this is how she got cursed then. Oh god. Where is she? Where'd she go? She came down this way, I'm sure of it. Find her. Find her. And burn her. Burn the witch. 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 Burn her. 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 Then will I leave thee upon the land. I will cast thee forth upon the open field, and will cause all the fowls of the heaven to remain upon thee. And I will fill the beasts of the whole earth with thee. And I will lay thy flesh upon the mountains, and fill the valleys with thy height. I will also water with thy blood the land wherein thou swimmest, even to the mountains. And the rivers shall be full of thee. And when I shall put thee out, I will cover the heaven, and make the stars thereof dark. I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon shall not give her light. All the bright lights of heaven will I make dark over thee, and set darkness upon thy land. I seem to have lost them. Now, where am I? I'm trying to, like, what this country would be like, It was way in 1099. I don't know any history back then. I'm not that far back of a historian, so this is all be completely new. Where should I go from here? What am I to do? Darkness spreads as far as the eye could see. Not a ray of light shines upon me. All that strokes my cheek are tendrils of darkness. Every passing day, every fading hour, my world is engulfed in ebony. There exists no kindness in the shadow, only solitude. I've lost track of how long I've been the run, wandering aimlessly, lost until I arrived in this dark forest. I no longer have anywhere to go. O Father who art in heaven, I kneel to thee within my heart and ask of thee thy blessing. O Father who art in heaven, I ask of thee to shine thy holy light upon me and show me the way. Please have mercy upon my soul. O Father who art in heaven, I do love thee dearly. Hallowed be thy name. Please show me the way. I may be shunned and persecuted, and I may have no place to go. But nevertheless, I'm unable to give up on life, to cast aside my own hope. O Father who art in heaven, please guide me to salvation. O Father who art in heaven, please guide me. I can no longer remember when my life became naught but running, when it becomes endless wandering in the dark. And now, when I've reached the point where I've long since forgotten my hunger and thirst, my voice has become hoarse, my vision gone blurry, my consciousness has begun sinking into a hazy morass. That mansion appears before me, wrapped in a morning fog that seems to foretell rain. Oh, it's that girl from the bedroom. It's her silhouette. Oh my. The mansion comes into view like the world fading in after a dream. It doesn't appear as though anyone lives here. All the windows are either boarded up or shuttered, as if it's long since been abandoned. A tower, which seems out of place in a person's residence, stands tall beside the mansion. The whole building seems as though it could disappear with the fog. It has an unwelcoming presence, freezing me in my tracks. However, if this is where you have led me, then I shall follow your guidance. Having nowhere else to go, this mansion is my only salvation. We really are in her head, honestly, for the story. This is gonna be where she got cursed, but then, just because we're like in her head for this moment, it just feels like the mansion. I'm actually kind of glad, like, maybe we get some details of what the mansion is, but we're not gonna get the full story about it, which I kind of like. I always like it when like stories like have this like symbol of like something that's haunted, but they don't give you the full details about it. And you've already seen like some games tackle that of there's this big question of what's causing this house causing this place to be haunted. And by the end of it, you don't really know what caused it to be haunted, just the fact that the sound of it, it's always been haunted with almost no cause. And everything you know about it is literally just because of however it got haunted, what effect it had on people who was around it or lived inside it. Kind of like that detail. You just come to your own conclusions, or it's literally, you can just imagine it as it's somewhere cursed that's always been cursed, even to the beginning of time. It makes it even more, I don't know, like menacing or surreal. I don't know the quite right word I'm trying to pick here. Like one of those. The light that guides my way. And so I must have faith that no matter what I find, whether spirits or wild beasts dwell within these walls, that this is where I will find peace. It's the exact same, honestly, backgrounds and pictures that, like, Giselle took. Is the white-haired girl just named in this reincarnation named Giselle? Is anyone there? I guess it is abandoned. It makes sense. It would be more unusual for someone to be living in a house so deep in the woods, so far from civilization, like it's been forgotten to time. I can't imagine anyone spending their days here, unless they're a squatter. I place my hand on the front door. What if I can't get in? I very much doubt I'll find anywhere else to stay wandering around through the woods. And the door doesn't open, and I'll die out here in the forest. I mean, you could bust into a window, but okay. Oh, you're gonna be that honest to a fault? Okay. I've come to accept much, but I'm not ready to forfeit my life yet. Please open. The door is heavy, and though it seems to protest my attempts to enter, it still opens much easier than I was expecting. I was worried over nothing. Looking in, I get the stranger's impression light is being swallowed up into the mansion's depths. Rather than going inside, it feels as though I'm about to step outside the boundaries in the world. Good intuition. When I close the door, it's so dark I can't even tell where I'm walking. I wonder if the windows are open. Oh, the window's open. Though I manage to fumble my way over to a window, it is tightly shuttered, and the shutters are caked with rust. I'm probably not getting it open without a fight. If only I had some source of light. I can't even see my hand waving from my face. It feels like the floor will fall out from under me. I'll sink into eternal darkness if I don't watch my step. Fighting back that fear, I slowly walk forward, tracing the wall with my hand. There's a door at the end of the corridor. I pull it open, and a wisp of bone-chilling air brushes past me. It's too dark to see anything, but I can feel something different present in this area than the rest of the house. Uneasiness grips me. So when our character was like going up to the tower, is this the same anxiety that I guess we felt? There's always some element of the past that, like, comes up, that we hear or come across, honestly, whenever we go to the next door. I think it was we heard children, like, laughing and playing Mel and Nelly before we enter the first door. Then, obviously, we heard, like, I guess the beast, honestly, like, like, ravaging people when we go into the cellar. And, I can't remember what the third door opened as. Was it the sound of the billiard balls, actually? Or, like, some chatter, honestly, going into it? Or that same den or parlor, honestly? Is anybody here? My voice simply disappears into the void. No response. And the void responds back. As I'm pushing forward through the freezing air, for a split second, I spot a shimmer of light. Swinging my eyes, I'm able to make out a large window. Unlike the others, it's not shuttered, but covered by drapes. Oh, it's a stained glass window? My chances are slim, I imagine. There's even a slight possibility of getting some light in here. It's worth a shot. To pull open the drapes. The next moment, faint but colorful light shines down on me. The stained glass window. From beyond the glass, I can hear the subtle pitter-patter of rain. I guess it finally started. The different colors of light blend into a milky white, dim but wondrous. It's gorgeous. Why would someone cover this up? It's beautiful. A little more light, it'd be... Please don't touch the drapes. Or the windows. Suddenly I hear a voice, and I can sense someone else in the room. The man's voice is emotionless, neither deep nor high. Before long, he comes into view, illuminated by a dull orange candlelight. What? What was that? What was that graphical glitch up there? What was that? What was that, huh? I actually expected that we actually see this in, like, the fifth door, honestly. Huh. Dang. They literally, the mention has spoiled us in the beginning. I can't believe it. They spoiled a memory for us. How dare it? How dare it? But, Didn't, like, okay, so, either the white-haired girl's name is Giselle, or, for some reason, the very beginning of that weird mirror memory thing, we were following someone in a wagon who, like, then came to this mansion. I can't tell if it's the same person or someone completely different. The small details of how the scene came in through, I can't quite tell if it's the exact same circumstances or something a bit different. I can't quite remember. I'm sorry for coming in uninvited, but I did announce myself. The man stands there, practically blending in with the darkness. Has he been there the whole time? He's staring straight at me, into my soul. His gaze wavers slightly, but not enough for me to read anything in it. The candle in his hand, the light from the stained glass window, are the only illumination in the room, neither of which are particularly bright. As a result, his outline is faint and blurred. It gives the impression that he might vanish entirely between blinks. My apologies, I assumed the house was abandoned. I suspect you would have preferred it to be abandoned. No, not at all. Is this, do you live in this mansion? Yes, I have for a very long time. Centuries. I thought I had barred the front door, but it would seem I left it open. What brings you here? If you're lost, I am happy to give you directions. There is a village west of here. It should take you maybe half a day on foot. If you're needing money, help yourself to some of the furniture. Oh, is it literally going to be the same thing? Huh. Unless he, like, tells us to every single person involved. Trade it for food at the village, and make your way to a larger town. I wonder if, like, every time we technically heard, the white-haired girl's name, like, into that, I can't remember how many letters it was, but, like, then, the letters in that censored, name, like, lined up with Giselle, whereas, like, every single time things are censored, like, they jumbled how many letters there are in there. It could be kind of a cool detail, honestly, if matches up with Giselle, if that's really her name. Please let me stay here. Could you repeat that? I cannot go to the village. No, I cannot go anywhere. I'm no longer able to freely return to any town. What, after whatever happened in one town, they just give word that you're a witch in every other one? Oh, yay. I'm being hunted. You seem rather young to be a sinner. So you have transgressed. I'm neither a thief nor an adulterer. If I bear any sin, then it has been with me since birth. I'll do everything I can to stay out of your way. I simply ask they grant me shelter till all blows over. If you wish to know of any of my transgression, I will tell you. Please do not throw me out. I see. And do you ask this of me, aware of how people refer to this mansion? Pardon? It is said that a witch once lived in this house. And not just any witch. A cursed witch. This house has been tainted by her seething hatred, and all who dwell within it met their demise. But you live here, don't you? Met their demise? I can see that for, like, no, actually, never mind. Like, every single person who resided here. I mean, unless you're going with a weird, curse, loophole thing of, everyone who started living in this mansion lived here until the day they died, then, like, of old age or whatever, or disease or things like that, then I guess, but, when I hear that, I don't think immediately of, my first thought is not, old age death, but oh, tragedy struck, oh, they were murderized, or, yeah, the disease thing. Not of old age, or, like, how it's implied for the other three, doors. I wouldn't say that, like, even, like, I don't think there was anyone who technically... No one really died in a lot of the doors, honestly. Door 1, there was no casualties, even though it was teased that Nellie actually killed the white-haired girl. But no, instead she scalped her and took her hair. Second door, obviously, people were guided to the house and were killed by, I guess, quote-unquote, the new master there, Yukimaza. But anyone who technically resided there for longer didn't really die, except for the white-haired girl. Yet she didn't die in the first door, or the third door. And actually in those two, she lived of her own free will. So... I don't know, that's a weird way to put it. Unless this is the rumors that people have the mansion itself. It's just, they hear so many bad things happen in the mansion over the years, they're like, no, don't go in there. It's cursed, you'll meet your doomed end, and you'll die of old age. And it's got twisted like rumors usually tend to be sometimes. Probably in this case, doubly more so because centuries are going by. But you live here, don't you? Like her, I too am cursed. Huh? What kind of curse? The one thing I can tell you is that your life is in danger if you get involved with me. Should you approach my curse, I'm likely to take your life. You'll kill me? Yes, so you do not belong here. To live with me in this mansion is a sentence to death. No matter what path I chose, I very much doubt I have a future. And if that's the case, then I shall live how I want. I don't care what people say about you, or this mansion. I wish to stay here. You might think me I'm rather strange, but my heart tells me here that I must stay here, that I was guided here, and hearing what you have to say only reinforces that. What are you scheming? I'm not scheming anything. I just plan to steal your furniture when you fall asleep, even though you already suggested that. and simply tired of running. So if your curse is gonna kill me, then perhaps that's for the best. At the very least, you won't be hunting me. Just die peace in your sleep, that's how you're imagining it? It's not probably not be that simple. You won't try to flay me or tear off my arms or rip the flesh off my bones. And that's enough for me. I do not want to be cannibalized. If you commit no sin, then why do they hunt you so fervently? They're accused of being a witch. Master, try not to tell you a tale. Don't look elsewhere in the world. Please, let's listen to this one. Please wake up. Return to me. Oh, have you come to you, Master? I apologize for sending you through the door without warning. You just, like, pushed us in and to let our hand go. There you go, oopsie daisy. I must have given you quite the scare. I beg your forgiveness. I heard a terrible screaming from down the stairs and I panicked. You say you saw the white-haired girl? I see. So you made it into the world beyond the door before me. I'm deeply relieved that I was able to take your hand before losing sight of you. I presume you have already grown familiar with the atmosphere of this time period, Master. Technically we're seeing this twice over. Except from, I guess the wagon ride with the sail. That's the one thing I do remember, though. Yeah, I can't tell, actually. Wait, didn't, like, Michelle in the mirror, like, say he was a witch? But, in this one he hasn't mentioned that at all, so, like, it's slightly different? Huh. It feels like it's starting the same, but there's a lot of subtle differences, honestly. It's just not the same thing. I'm glad I didn't decide to call her Giselle, because now I'm more convinced actually it's not her name anyway. It's literally two different starts that happened upon the same. Because the same guy living, like, almost immortal, like the maid, like, herself is, then, like, obviously makes sense that something to start similarly. Someone coming to the mansion, you giving him, some hospitality, like, take some furniture. It's very nice furniture. And then the conversation with the witch comes up, or the curse, honestly. Yeah, it's slightly different. If you've seen her, as you said, then you should have a basic grasp of the situation. She's a very misfortunate girl in this era, accused of being a witch, abused and persecuted. I wonder if just because, like, she is white, like, she's, like, was born, like an albino, like, white hair and the red eyes, and that's the only reason? Or maybe because of that and something else, like, she was thought of doing? They now think of that of her? It seems like it's more guiding towards the fact of, like, she just looks weird to everyone else, and that's why. I mean, it's kind of already implied the other doors as well. So, I wonder if that's all there is to it. Her life was in constant danger. It was again her appearance that brought this upon her. Yeah, I kind of figured. One doesn't anything more to it, though. That snow-white hair and those ruby-red eyes clearly differentiated her from everyone else. She's too special. Kill her! Oh, and I apologize. I neglected to mention that this door is unique. I mean, there is spirals on it, and it came into the tower, so it definitely is unique. As for what sets it apart, that will be made clear as we proceed. The one difference is in the time period. It's absolutely centuries in the past, but disconnected from everything else. The tales I've shown you begin with that of the beautiful flaxen-haired family, followed by the tale of the bloodthirsty beast, and then a tale of steel and ambition, proceeding in chronological order. However, the door we have just entered takes us to the period now known as the Middle Ages, long, long before the other three tales. Yes, that is correct. This is where it all began, the origins. Mansion's curse, the truth of the witch, and your identity. Oh, this, like, you're actually being truthful. This is the very last door. Dang it, I thought it'd be a door 5. It'd be a good number. Well, I guess for a game like this, door 4 actually being another good number to lead up, but still, 5 is a good number. 5 is a good number. It's neither odd nor even. Well, it's odd, but it feels even, if that makes sense. Which it should. All this should have been made known. If, after this tale, you're still unable to reclaim your old self, then there's nothing more I can do. Well, you could also knock us over the head, honestly, and help remember us that way. But if it, like, just makes more amnesia-ridden because of it, then well, oopsie daisies. The story contains the last tale I'm able to tell you. You're able. I ask of you, please do not let go of my hand until it's all over. Then, when we're still stuck in here, then you can let go and be lost to the abyss forever. Now then, let's begin a beautiful, tragic love story of two solitary souls trapped in the mansion of darkness. I was gonna say, honestly, if every other door had a tint of romance to it, honestly, is this the same is this gonna happen again? Of the love and romance of this girl was a tragedy all over again? Like, it's been a constant theme, so why not stop now? Why not stop? Do not stop at all. In that era, the mansion was a dungeon draped in darkness. Dungeon. Oh, the mansion was like built for the outside to be a dungeon, honestly? And then it was, I guess, over time when people found it more and more, they refurnished it more and more? Huh. Actually, oh god. I'm trying to think of, like, time periods, honestly, of, like, which came first or not. So I know usually when they give us, like, I guess the time period of when things happen, never really comes up again at all. I'm trying to think my brain, like, what comes where. Like, I know door 3 is probably the very, like, latest or more modern story, but I'm trying to remember if Did Yukimaza's tale come, after this door, door 4? Or was, Mel and Nellie's story next? I can't remember the year for, Yukimaza's right now. I think Yukimaza's story is, like, the next chronologically after this door, then the Flaxen-haired family, if we're gonna keep calling them that, and then, Jacopo's tale. So, that in chronological order. 4, 2, 1, 3. Hopping around every so where. After a great deal of time on the run, the white-haired girl found herself in a remote mansion that stood in a dark, overgrown forest. All the windows were either boarded or shuttered. It was even darker inside the house than out. Not even a ray of moonlight could enter those walls. So there's gonna be candles everywhere? But white-haired girl didn't find any candles until she found the drapes covering the windows. Unless this Michelle has a lot of candles, a lot of matches, and this place is gonna be completely and utterly dark for the rest of the story. That's gonna be great. If only there was night vision goggles back then. Only naturally, the white-haired girl would have assumed that nobody lived there. But her guess was incorrect. Someone did indeed dwell in the house. It was a young man named Michel. Though she could not make out the details of his face in the candlelight, she thought him a very handsome man. However, he proclaimed to her that a witch resided within the mansion, and that he too was cursed. Are you saying, Michelle, that you are this indeed of a witch? Everyone who got close to him lost their lives. Do you think that what he told her was all nonsense? A lie devised to chase her out of the house? The truth of the matter shall come to light in time. It's both a half-truth and half-lie. Despite Michelle's assertions, the white-haired girl decided she would take up residence within the mansion. Miss Eyre's white-haired girl was younger than the others. She was still in her early teens, young enough to still be seen as a child. And because of everything that happened so far, I have to ask this question. How old was Michelle? I don't want to get into this again. God damn it. I mean, we already had, like, a whole bunch of different things of him, like, what was it, like, incest in the first one, which, again, like, my brain seems to go back and forth on whether if, like, both sides are fine with it, then, like, I can't really stop them. But only as long as, like, they're around the same age or anything like that. But, like, God, I don't think I would ever accept this part. It's just neither self-centered nor irresponsible as you might expect of someone her age. She's very delicate and reserved. That's literally all her incarnations. She's always going to be this way. And acted with a great deal of modesty and restraint. The accusations of her being criminal and sentiment were grossly inappropriate. Nevertheless, she was still chased from her home, barely managing to flee this mansion with her life. I'm just wondering exactly what was the catalyst for the village to, like, they knew, like, they saw her grow up in the village, and then when she was a teenager, then decided, oh, we can't deal with this anymore. Burn the witch! And just, like, chased around, honestly. What was the big catalyst that they then decided to lose their patience then? Unless they were just like, I'm trying to think of, like, why they would hold back on, like, burning or, like, killing a child who they thought was, born weird like that. I mean, something like think of they saw the, like, they just let the kid, like, grow up a bit more until she's now, like, in her teen, like, she's a teen still now. So, I'm just trying to place exactly what caused them to just throw caution in the wind and just, now of all times to chase her and, like, try to kill her. Nevertheless, she was still chased from her home, barely managing to flee this mansion with her life. Now, the white-haired girl thought it would be rude to simply take upon space in the mansion, so chased in the master, Michelle, and asked, is there anything I can do to help? I will clean or cook or do anything, just let me know. I want to repay you for allowing me to stay here. You need not feel indebted to me. The weight of that obligation will only turn into disdain. But I can't just stay here and do nothing. Do whatever you like. As long as you do not enter my room. This is all I ask of you. He said emotionlessly, turning away and walking off. Michelle was not, I believe, spurning her. He was merely disinterested. You say this is a romance. He did not treat her disrespectfully, nor did he seem adverse to her presence. Words simply did not seem to affect him at all. Not only was the mansion a prison for his body was also a prison and snaring his heart. So this is going to be a story, like, if it is going to be romance, and like, he's used to so many people coming to this mansion, honestly, and just dying in front of him, or he finds out later that he died, honestly, after they leave, and he just lost any kind of, I guess, care that, anything's gonna be different. It's gonna be that kind of love story. I should still do whatever I can. But she didn't she did not let that get her down. In fact, she might have even interpreted his disinterest as kindness. No, he's a bit standoffish. He did not intend to cause her harm. I mean, I guess if he's, like, being disinterested, honestly, and she's used to so many people staring at her, or, like, just throwing insults at her because of how different she looks, honestly, then yeah, I can see how she could look at that. I could see that. He was nothing like the people who had accused her of being a witch and forced her to flee for her life. And she was deeply grateful for that. Thus began their quiet life together. Michelle, who avoided contact with others, the white-haired girl, had taken a great deal of abuse from others. Two people who knew hardly anything about one another, who were too distant to really be said to be living together. Michelle spent most of his day in his chambers. They only ever saw each other occasionally, and they hardly ever spoke. Though they stayed in the same house, they both still lived solitary lives. Nevertheless, the white-haired girl wanted to get to know Michelle better. Interesting that we have not seen the maid appear in the story at all, too. Unless this is literally a story of, like, it's either, like, the maid was just formed here and, like, was also, like, asked to be cursed as well to live forever in this mansion, or she's, like, one of the people that I guess the witch we find for this chapter, like, cursed, or I guess, or in some ways, maybe based on how the maid talks and acts, like, she takes as a bit of a blessing, or it's like an apparition of the mansion itself. So, if, like, the maid is not really a real person, then I'm curious if, like, literally just us, and How many people have been cursed? I still don't know. Either the maid is not a real person, just a figment of the mansion itself that conjured it up, or... And wait again, yeah, the painting even said this thing about him, like a business partner, like, appears in the next chapter, this one. But so far, there hasn't been anything about other people. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any involvement with another person coming around. Unless we actually see another person, come here to the mansion and live here. That person named Giselle has a seemingly good conversation with, Michelle, and then they and the white-haired girl meet? But we both saw them from the perspective of a first person. She wanted to know why he called himself cursed. Why he lived alone in the dark mansion. How many days or how many years he'd spent here in solitude. And while she waited for the opportunity, she'd also started doing things around the house. That's the thing, like, how do you get food? The first project which she set out to take care of was cleaning. Oh, here in the library? Good luck with that, Missy. The books there are cursed and always fall off the shelves. As the windows were all firmly shut, her only source of light was candles. For whatever reason, there was a great deal of candles stored in the cellar. I mean, I kind of figured. She wondered where on earth he acquired so many, but she never found the opportunity to ask him. The entire time in his chambers, he's just a candle maker. He's making those candles willy-nilly and then just moves them down there in the cellar, honestly, for later use. That's all he does. This is his big hobby. It's difficult to even see the dust and cobwebs with only candlelight, and considering the poor airflow through the house, she's afraid her efforts were going to be in vain. Still, she persisted, sweeping and wiping things down, one room at a time. Eventually, she made her way to the library, into the cursed books. The dust that settled here was much heavier than in any other room. With each breath, she had to fight back coughs. This is where those dust bunnies set up their own little home. It was not a room where one would normally be comfortable spending much time in. The sight of so many bulky volumes lining the shelves set her heart aflutter with delight. They're books. Yes, they are. Incredible. Real books. The white-haired girl had never seen a book before. She had heard people describe them, but that was the first time she had ever seen one for herself. Parchment was a very valuable commodity in that era. It was something monks or scholarly priests made use of, and not a material one could easily acquire without some degree of social rank. Books were not printed with machines, but copied by hand. Yeah, I remember, what was it? Like, the Library of Alexandria, had a whole thing of any ships that came by, they, take all the parchments in there, copied all of them by hand, and then, gave back the replicated copies to the person to keep the original in their library. Be a whole thing of them, they expand all the knowledge until that place got burned down. God damn it. I feel like the world would be even more, advances now. The library did not get burned down, along with a few other, mass, burnings. Yeah. A single volume took an incredible amount of work to recreate. Even the process of binding was an art. Oh, yep, I remember taking that class in college. That was, something. Hand sewing, books together. Man, I hated it. I remember just keep pricking myself with a needle too often, honestly. Not enough to draw blood, but enough to be painful and really annoying. Sitting behind a shelf, she stared intently at the spines. There's so much dust. Does he not read any of them? Just a peek. Just a tiny little peek. It's literally just his journal with so many secrets he doesn't want anyone to let out. She said it, making excuses of the empty room as she reached her hand toward one of the books. The tome that caught her eye was in the upper shelf. It bore gorgeous jade embrosing, and looked like it belonged to a treasure chest. Almost. Though she tended to act older than her age, the white-haired girl was still in her early teens and not especially tall. Get a stool. Even standing tiptoe, she's still just barely within reach. At long last, her slender fingers made contact with the spine, and she began to pull the book toward her. Ah! The library had sat abandoned for some time, causing the covers to stick together, and thus they avalanche upon her. So when she attempted to pull one out, several others told her with it. And then, almost all the books in the shelf came avalanching down upon her. Another death. How anticlimactic death. The white-haired girl groaned, buried under a mountain of parchment. She hoped she had not damaged any of her host's valuable collections. The mess was enough of a setback already in her attempt to express her gratitude. Looking around, she saw one volume that was almost torn in half. She did not know whether it was in that condition before, or it happened in the fall, but nonetheless, she felt horribly guilty. Sitting there, unable to get back to her feet, tears began welling in her eyes. Then suddenly, a shadow fell over the dejected girl. God damn it, my mouth cannot make sounds. Gah! It took a book in its hand and returned it to the shelf. For a brief moment, the shadow's hand reached hesitantly toward the white-haired girl, then changed course toward another book. Hi, you. Hi. Hi again. I thought it'd be Ghost. God damn it, that'd be more interesting. God damn it. I thought it was Michelle first, but then Ghost. It was Michelle. There was a hint of perplexity in his otherwise emotionless eyes. Perhaps he'd heard the noise and come to see what caused it. Oh, I'm sorry. Your books, What were you doing? I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make a mess. I didn't mean to damage your such precious books. There's no need to panic. I'm sorry. You make it sound as though I'm admonishing you. What? Did you want to read a book? I do, but that's not what I originally came here to clean. Clean? Yeah, I felt guilty simply being idle. I did say you could do as you please, but you have no responsibility to clean anything. I just end up making a bigger mess anyway. The books, you can easily put that back? And even if you care about the dust there, you could redust that area, so that's not that big of a deal, And actually, wouldn't it be better to take some books off the bookshelf anyway to dust the shelves itself? Unless you're saying the books, don't, hide the dust away from that area of the shelves, which I completely doubt. The books themselves will get dusty. I'm sorry. You needn't apologize. Okay, I'm sorry for apologizing. If you want to read, help yourself to any of the books. But I don't know how to read. I just thought the cover was pretty, so I wanted to hold it. You're free to use them however you wish. If looking at them is enough for you, by all means. Here's a little picture book for you. These are all your books, aren't they? They are. That's incredible. You have so many. It must have taken you a long time to acquire them all. One per month. What? My family sends me one every month. Every month? The white-haired girl turned her gaze back toward the shelves, squinting her eyes beginning to count. There's way more than there's over 120. He's been here for over more decades. No, there's so many books in this library that he's way older than way older than 100. Wait, so just 100 times 12, that'll be 1,200. When she finished, she was in awe. There were in excess of 100 books in the shelves, which meant he had lived here, in solitude, for many years. She was at a loss for words. They're dull tomes, dreadfully inoffensive and not even interesting enough to waste a few hours with. Dang. Decoration's all they're good for. I see. Why don't you write a letter back to them saying, I want some good books. I want to read the tabloids. I want to read the spicy stuff. Or anything like that. If you can put them to some use, then perhaps my having them won't be entirely meaningless anymore. Then perhaps my having them. I don't like that turn of phrase. God damn it. Isn't that actually a line that was actually in Higurashi? Like something like a character said it like that, or narration-wise? I don't quite like how that is, even if it might be like grammatically correct. I don't like that. I hate that. I don't like that at all. God damn it. I've ever seen that like again that what was that Danganronpa fanfic I linked in Higurashi Let's Play, yeah. That like but even then when I read through it was like that's a weird way to word a line. Like it's just now appearing everywhere. God damn it. Oh god damn it. Okay, I don't think it's happened like there's a line like that in Echo, but I swear to god if I reread that again like later on and there is a line there, I will die. I'm gonna return to my room. Don't feel obligated to clean up. Just a minute. Was there something else? Could you tell me your name? I just realized I never asked for your name. Oh. Oh, technically we know it's Michelle because of a tagline. Not knowing what to call you will make conversation awkward from here on. You don't need my name to... I want to, though. Michelle. Michelle? Like the Archangel. I don't know if it's, like, literally just meant to be, like, pronounced Michelle or, like, Michael. Like, you know, Michael the angel, honestly. I like calling him Michelle, though. The name suits you quite well. It suits me. It does. Although it's difficult to see in the dark. You seem to be a very handsome man, befitting of your name. I beg to differ. Giving his name is the highest form of mockery. I expect the real Archangel's probably rather annoyed by it. I don't know. I think it's a wonderful name. And you're... No, never mind. You don't want to know her name? Oh my god! We need to know. Oh, my name? My name is... Oh, so it is her name! Well, why did my brain immediately just assume that I'm, Because, like, what was it? I don't remember, like, even Michelle in that mirror flashback literally, like, said it was, like, actually said, like, he was the witch, yet, like, the mirror, like, made it, like, sound like it was that, like, he said it, but instead it was her that said it? I need to reread it again because that feels, like, weirdly, what is the word? Like, almost a bit deceptive? Which, this game definitely has tried to be a bit deceptive in, like, how it presents itself in numerous cases. Like, I'm trying to think of, what was it, God, I'm trying to think. I know, like the maid even brought up, a hint of deception, like, it was in the first, not the first door, yeah. The second and third. I'm trying to remember exactly when I got annoyed with one of them, how things are laid out. Probably with the whole thing with him, I guess, with the beast, I guess, appearance, honestly, then I mean, she could see exactly what it looked like, but she's like, now we'll keep this little metaphor going, honestly. But the third door, the whole deception thing, like, it makes sense. She's telling the story, like, how she discovered it. But she was there and saw Yukimaza, like, out as he was. And then that happened. So it's a bit weird. I just need to reread that mirror chapter, honestly, and see how things are different, because Giselle, honestly, from the beginning came in a wagon, it seemed like. So either it's a weird thing of, like, that, like, she comes back to the mansion years later and meets him again, or it's literally just another iteration of the white-haired girl coming upon the mansion, like, time, honestly. And does that mean, like, her name is always the same in each iteration, then? And I wonder why it's actually hidden for all this time. My name is Giselle. Please, call me Giselle. Oh, thank goodness. For what? That I was able to get your name and talk to you for a little bit. We haven't seen much of each other since I first arrived, so I'm glad I got to hear your voice. So very glad. You gain nothing by speaking to me. You had no responsibility to do so. There's no need for you to feel joy about it. I'm not pleased out of some sense of responsibility or necessity. It's just depressing, not being able to have a conversation with someone living in the same house. You do not understand me at all. I am what you may call an introvert. To sin the first day, my curse will one day kill you. But I'm still alive, aren't I? It's a very delayed curse. You're welcome to believe I'm lying, but I'm merely on my mind. But it will be too late when you realize the truth. I'll be fine, I'm sure. And even if I do die because of your curse, I promise I won't hold a grudge. Could you possibly be keeping away from me out of concern? I'm wondering actually now is a thing where Michelle actually lived in the mansion this entire time, and because it's so big, honestly, like he just like keeps himself into one area in the whole mansion and no one ever goes in there. It's one of those kind of stories like even though there's so many people going in and out of the place, that there's always one area that everyone does not notice or see, and he's been in there this entire time, immortalized, and he's trying to keep away from everyone after what happened with this, what happened to Giselle here in this chapter, but it still happens no matter what to so many other people. Or he literally does go to like hide from other people, but just does not know about any other curse happenings that happen to everyone else. It'd be even funnier that he lived in this house for so many immortal centuries, and every time he's like done like with his hobby or however long it takes and do whatever he does in his own room, or wherever he decides to hide up, he looks outside the windows like, oh, we have condoms again. God damn it. I like the cheese, the food from this place. God damn it. And if like his family is still like sending him books even after so many centuries pass, like god damn it, I need to fucking find my family again and tell them my home address so I get more books. God damn it. Okay, what? Oh Jesus, everything just lied for a second there. Sorry. No, I simply have no interest in interacting with anyone. I would like to interact with you, if you don't mind, that is. As I told you, nothing to gain from that. Human interaction is the same. I have nothing, not even words to give you. My body is but a shell. If I were not cursed, my presence would do naught but cause you discomfort. I don't think that's true. I don't believe there's anyone in this world with absolutely nothing. There's plenty inside you. You simply haven't noticed it yet. And not all of it will cause others pain either. Unless you're gonna say like you're someone who like is a shell because like so many different things happen to you. Honestly, it'd mostly just be a thing of like you're trying to compartmentalize what happened to your own life. You're trying to process everything that happened, or quite honestly, you know about that, but you haven't really started healing yet. Like so many things happened, and you need a lot of time to process it, or like you need something to keep your mind occupied, or something to help you like break out of your own rut. Honestly, I've already had this several times. Honestly, it kind of like lines up with I guess that whole feeling, shell yourself, or like maybe a feeling of like you don't really have a personality because of so many things happening. They kind of shut down. It could be that. If you truly believe those words, then you are a foolhardy girl. How can you trust someone you only just met? Well, not really only just met. We've been living in this whole same mansion for quite a while together. We just haven't talked. For that matter, how do you not resent everyone? Resent them? I can take a guess as to why people call you a witch, and why you had to flee all the way to this mansion. Your white hair and red eyes. I mean, don't you have white hair and maybe also red eyes? I can't quite tell your eye color because of how narrow you kind of close your eyes. I can't even tell this because of the candlelight, honestly. That abnormal, seemingly inhuman appearance drew their condemnation, which again I'm still wondering exactly why wait until now to attack her. Unless the thing is like her parents like hiding her or like disguising her, honestly, is out of love before disguise I guess fell apart or someone noticed and was like, witch, and just pitchfork torches time. And I can think of any number of reasons they might have started treating you less than human. Perhaps people around you experienced misfortune, or perhaps there was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague. Some kind of external phenomenon. And you were their scapegoat. Yay, scapegoating. Remember just bringing all that up in Higurashi, and that's gonna appear again later on. Not even in this game. Yes, you are, by and large, correct. Then that would make me as unworthy of your trust as anyone else. I make no claim to having your interest in mind. Well, you're more straightforward than they were. Goodbye. If you don't mind, could you teach me how to read sometime? Did you listen to anything I said? Did you listen to anything I said either? God, communication. I listened, yes. I had no intention of idolizing you. I don't expect you to do anything for me, and I don't wish to burden you in any way. I simply wish to be allowed to be at your side. It does not matter to me what kind of person you may be. I wonder if, like, I guess the reality, the truth of the real curse, honestly, is in his room, honestly. If anything else. That is all I want. I apologize for keeping you. Please consider it. It was not too much trouble. I wonder if we can actually go into the tower, too, at some point in this memory. As the master of the house, Michel made his way out of the library. He appeared to be slightly rattled. Perhaps the white-haired girl's determination had ignited something in his chained heart. Or perhaps it was something else. She stared towards the darkness into which Michel disappeared. Then, she carefully wrapped her arms around the jade-embossed tome, a soft smile spreading across her lips. He's a decent man. I'm sure of it. We're alike, he and I. And thus began to blossom within her a faint sense of fellowship, as someone who also knew solitude. And thus this story's romance has started to come to bloom. Will this rose garden in the back of this mansion ever grow to its full splendor ever once again? It's kind of like been left to rot ever since Melanelli's time, then was, oh yeah, didn't like actually like some of the flowers there were like kind of, they're not all dead, but most of them were fine in door 3 before Jacoba decided to tear it all down. Wonder if like the rose garden was always there, like someone planted it there. Maybe Mel and Nelly planted them there. Or like, I know there was like gardening in the second door when May was teaching Yakimaza like English again, or whatever language the continent they were on, the country they were in. Had been about a week since the white-haired girl had taken up residence in the mansion. Staying in that house deprived of light was, I imagine, a very claustrophobic experience. Oh yes, I can attest to that. God damn it. The light in my room has not worked in months, and I only like lamplight. It gets very depressing. God damn it. To anyone blessed enough to have sunlight as a part of their everyday lives, it would have been unbearable. But for her, the mansion, with its prison walls and lack of either illumination or recreation, was the one place she could find respite. She and Michel continued to be distant, however. He spent most of his time in his chambers, which he had explicitly told the white-haired girl to stay out of, leaving her unable to close that gap. She just keeps knocking the doors like, do you want to build a snowman? I got some snow right here, just pushing all the snow from the door into the hallways. Nevertheless, on the occasion they did cross paths in the hallway, their eyes would meet, if but briefly. It was never for more than a few seconds. Whenever she saw him, she made a point of giving him a little smile. He never said anything, but still, when she had first arrived, he would not have even met her gaze. He seemed to be taking more and more notice of her. Why is this girl still living here? Hey, the cellar! One day, the white-haired girl stood in the cellar, a frown on her face. Well, this is troubling. I can't go down to the village, but if we don't do something soon... The cellar was where their food was stored. An assortment of non-perishables and dried foods, smoked meats, and cheeses! Cheese. I figured, like, the food came up. There was a whole point in the second chapter about Yukimaza, actually, maybe we should call him Beastia, since that's what he wants to be known as now. So Beastia. He's a Beastia who was trying to hunt for a while. Gotta follow what the names everyone wants to call themselves. Her daily meals are taken from the supplies there. However, the stockpiles beginning to grow quite small. Were she not on the run, she could have gone to the village to procure more. Or perhaps, were she a little tougher, she could have captured a wild animal for its meat. But, Master, you know a young, delicate thing like her was hardly up to the task hunting for food. How does he normally get his supplies, I wonder? I don't know, you can ask him when you're, like, passing by each other in the hall. From there, other questions about Michelle started rising in her mind. No matter how lifeless he seemed, surely he still had to eat, right? The white-haired girl nodded, then made her way out of the cellar, intending to head for his bedchamber. Knock, knock, knock! Do you want to build a snowman? Ah. But on her way there, she spotted him standing by the entrance, staring motionlessly at the door, lit by a single candle. He appeared to be waiting for something. Is it for the next letter or package of a book from your family? May I ask you a question? Go on. I was just in the cellar, and I noticed we were running low on food. Do you normally go down to the village to restock? I haven't been outside in 10 years. Okay. Then how do you... What if I told you I don't eat? Immortality! Yay. That means his family is also immortal and just keeps sending him books. What nice people. What? I am not of this world. And as such, I had no need of sustenance. Oh, wait, these words are also in the mirror, honestly. God damn it. Like, some words, honestly, just, it's like almost spliced, that mirror, honestly. They're spliced, honestly, into it. That's probably my first guess. I need to reread that even more. God damn it. I'm gonna stop saying that now. I'm probably being annoying about that. What would you think of that? What? That sounds very, economical. That's a way to put it. I curse myself to not eat anymore, so I don't need to feed myself. If you can survive without having to eat, there's one less thing to worry about then. If it were possible, I'd like to have that ability too. It would seem trying to frighten you a waste of time. Oh, was it supposed to be afraid? Never mind. It doesn't matter. You asked about the food in the cellar. It's going to be about that time. Wait, and you'll find out. What do you... It's here. It's our food. We've been stuck in here forever. Let's slip that little thing into the door. Ultra Despair Girl style. Yeah. If you want to know where my supplies come from, open the door. But, I'm in hiding. Don't worry, open the door and a beast is this there with a package in hand. Just it's the Beastia delivery service. Yeah. There's no one at the door anymore. The knock is nothing more than a signal. A signal? Yes, it's the Beastia delivering the packages. The white-haired girl turned toward Michelle to press him for more information, but he averted his gaze. Find the answer yourself, he seemed to be saying. She took several moments to gather her will, then marched over to the door. Creaking door. So bright. The sunlight, which she had not seen in some time, was so bright it seemed to burn her eyes. Although the sun itself had not got any brighter, she had simply spent so much time in the dark her eyes were no longer accustomed to that much light. That sun, it burns! The color of her eyes made them quite sensitive to the light already, so when she went outside, her whole world went bone white. The white-haired girl stood motionless for 10, perhaps 15 seconds, and when her eyes had finally adjusted to the light... What's this? She noticed a crate on the ground at her feet. She turned her head back to ask Michelle about the box. The mansion was so dark, it appeared to be wholly severed from the outside world. From where she stood, she was unable to distinguish Michelle from the shadows. A pain and nervousness struck her. She wanted to return to that darkness as quickly as possible. I need the darkness. I don't need the light. The white-haired girl would kind of yearn for that world without light more than the one within. The crate was fairly hefty. The slightly built girl had considerable difficulty bringing it into the house. Eventually, she did manage to drag it through the front door. And then, everything went dark once more, except for the faint flicker of candlelight floating in the air. Floating? Ghost. You can leave it there. I'll take care of the rest. What's... Without a word, Michelle approached her in the box, drawing a knife that he evidently kept hidden somewhere on his person. With it, he cut through the rope that bound the box. Go on, open it up. There's more cheese inside! At his insistence, she placed her hand upon the lid. She had no idea what lay inside this unexpected delivery. Whoever had brought it was already long gone. Staring at the strange box, she was racked with nervousness. However, what she found when she pushed aside the lid was completely ordinary food. God damn it, no cheese! Oh, that's something amusing. This is how you get food. There's a book at the very bottom with food crumbs everywhere. It was just rather anticlimactic. What, you want the food to jump out at you and you then fight for your life to kill them and store them away in the cellar, honestly? Here he was, worried about what might be inside. We were just talking about the supplies in the cellar. Oh, so we were. It completely slipped my mind. This should last us for some time. It's all preserved, just like what's in the cellar. But I don't understand. Who would deliver all this to you? There should be a book in there as well. Okay. What? Oh, there it is. In the library, he said his family sends him 1 book a month. Does that mean this box comes from them? If so, then why did the person who delivered this leave without speaking to him? No speaking basis. What happened between him and his family? Is he here because they want him here? Imprisoned from the world? Or because he chose to be here? Take the book to the library, please. I'll bring the rest of the supplies to the cellar. But it's a big box. I'm sure you could use some help carrying it. That won't be necessary. Take the book and go. Okay. Fine then. Keep your secrets. But fine, then stay here. I'll take care of everything. Wait, hold on, please. What is it? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. And I'm not trying to pry, but I can't help but be curious. Say what you say, please. I was wondering if you could tell me why you live here, in this mansion. Why did whoever delivered this box leave before you even opened the door? Could you perhaps tell me, little old me, wink wink, please? Be imprisoned here? I told you this the very first day, I'm cursed. It's only natural for a cursed man to live in a cursed home. Yes, but that's a vague answer. I don't understand why you're in the situation you are. I don't know how you feel about it. There's so much I don't know. And I'm not even sure if your curse actually exists. I see. That is a perfectly reasonable doubt, from your point of view. Haven't branded a witch because of your appearance. It only makes sense that you would think my curse might be fabricated. Or perhaps a metaphor. Oh, the glorious metaphors for something else. And I just got reminded of why I didn't like the deception, honestly, the second chapter, honestly. Because again, seeing a vision of Yukimaza be killed by his bestial self, and the story didn't imply that it was a metaphor. It was just another person being led to the mansion and killed. It was mostly because of that one scene, honestly. Trying to hide the fact of that twist, honestly. God damn it. Alright then. Come with me. What? I'll show you my curse. I'll show you my room! He turned on his heels, The white-haired girl caught a glimpse of what appeared to be a smirk on his face. The whole thing was some kind of sick joke. He's trying to scare her even more. We just go into the room and there's just a rose. We already had a Beauty and the Beast thing in the second chapter, so why not fully go out with it? That smile carved into his mask was far colder than any look of annoyance or rejection. Despite the twinge of nervousness, she still followed after Michelle. As much as he might have stood in a crowd, with such height and long hair, his presence was almost entirely eroded away by the darkness. She felt that he could simply fade away into nothingness at any moment. He can only live in the darkness, and that's why when people decide to live in this mansion and give more light, he's just completely invisible to everyone else, and he likes being silent. He's always been here. Always. Many things are buried here. Huh? Mice, insects, wild cats, and dogs. Have you ever thought it's strange how little life there seemed to be around this mansion? You're right. I haven't seen a single creature since I arrived. The rats live in the walls, okay, and they eat the cheese. The only sound you can hear is the wind blowing. Now you mention it, it did seem peculiar. They were all killed by me. Where you're able to shapeshift and like turn yourself small to go into the walls and kill the rats themselves, like start a gang war inside there and like get them all out. Like what? Or rather, they lost their lives because of me. Every living thing, even the plants, will die because of that being in your close proximity. So it means if you take a walk through the forest, those trees will all die then too at some point. You have your answer now. A butterfly fluttered its way into the ruined garden, dancing up and down through the air. Michelle held out a finger before himself. The butterfly, mistaking it for a branch, drifted down upon it to rest its wings. Had the scene stopped there, it would have been a picturesque moment. All that comes in contact with me loses its life. My skin, the breath I exhale, my flesh and blood, is poison to all life. The butterfly's movements began to slow. It spread its wings in one last futile attempt to fight gravity. And then, without warning, it shriveled up into a dry husk. It's dead. All dried up and lifeless. Like it's been dead for days. I'm getting immediately reminded of the parallel with him, for the first door of the white-haired girl just so honestly holding a white rose and it turned red. Like it's almost a reverse of like taking death to life, I guess. It's like his finger drained all the life out of it. Like it's actually like, that's actually an interesting thing to think about, that it's not even the fact that she was cursed, it's because he's always been around the mansion, and because people have been walking through the mansion for so long, they've just been cursed by proxy. And since they've been around so often, she keeps coming around. Like, every time, honestly, the girl actually has been, like, a source of, like, intrigue for some of the guys. Like, all the main, I guess, main characters, like Yukimaza, Jacobo, and Mel. Like, they all infatuated with her, whether, like, and they took her as a source of comfort. And the only time that we've seen them like not think that same way was mostly just because in the case of Jacopo, like someone was actively trying to sabotage that, even though they like even he still like loved her. But that whole thing. So if it's the whole thing that the sound of it, like they're making a very, very big focus on shadows and darkness here. And since every other chapter has all the windows open and everything, that might be that he's invisible when light, like natural light, is there, because they already made it pretty clear that it's completely dark when you look in from the outside. At least here, when you step inside, you just naturally get used to the darkness, and then you can actually see him. He's just holding a candle, honestly, just to move around. Honestly, they didn't make that little metaphorical mention of like a floating candle. It was probably just mostly just because it's so dark that she can only notice that the candle is like floating right there, the light, honestly, before her eyes get adjusted. But I would so like that to be actually what really is going on. That he's just invisible to everyone else, and so he like tries to be he does not talk at all to anyone. He's always been the mansion for oh so long, honestly. That then, like honestly, anyone who decided to live in the mansion like slowly becomes cursed from it. It's not even a thing of bloodlines or a curse like that. It's literally just anyone who is in the area around him, or anyone that's in the mansion itself, honestly. It's not the fact that people are drawn to it. I'm still trying to think of exactly how it would be for the second chapter then, that people became more and more like brought to the mansion from Yukimazu or Beastia to kill. I don't know exactly the specifics of that, but it's like anyone who comes here to this mansion, honestly, would then just be cursed or doomed to die, or like just have tragedy inflicted on them in some capacity. It's all just because he just lived in this mansion for centuries, honestly, for years, including the modern day, honestly. Doesn't quite explain him mansion living in different realities and shifting all across the continents, but that's I guess either a question we'll never have answered, or it's something that's going to come up later. I kind of hope it's never brought up, honestly. We just only have lore bits of like what causes this or that. We just don't know exactly why it happens. It's like his finger drained all the life out of it. Is this his curse? He's death and the Grim Reaper incarnate. Is it even possible? But I saw it with my own eyes. If this is his curse, though, it explains much. There are more than just insect and animal corpses buried here, too. Servants who came to visit me long ago are here, beneath the ground, under our very feet. 6 feet under? Like, is this where the rose garden was? That's why the servant leaves before I open the door. Why this? Oh, okay. Should he touch me? Should he get near me? His very life is in danger. No one is interested in not seeing me to take that risk. No one will have anything to do with me. Nary a soul even wishes to see my face. Now you understand what I meant when I said I would eventually kill you? So that's... Then I'll wear gloves! So that one thing of in Beastars with what was it, Legoshi's parents, honestly, or... I think, no, actually, grandparents, actually. That whole thing. Yeah, just wear gloves, sterilize everything and all that. Just do that. Just wear full hazmat suits! Just lay in bed together with a full hazmat suit on. That would be great. That would be romantic. That's why you never once touched me. Why would we decide to note that? When I knocked down the books in the library, you didn't offer a hand to help me up. And only one of us ever made contact with the box the entrance at the time. When I offered to help you carry it, you refused. Because you didn't want your finger to accidentally brush against mine. My actions were not out of concern for you. I simply dislike people. My dislike in people have manifested into this death for everyone. That's fun. Oh my god, that'd be even more funny, honestly. I hate people so much that if anyone ever touches me, or I even let a breath on them, they just die immediately. I'm that antisocial. Others' interests mean nothing to me. What if I make candles? What if my hobby is candle maker? What an odd face you're making. Do you not believe my curse is real? No, I do. We just saw it happen. It is certainly irrational, inexplicable, unbelievable, but you show me more than enough evidence. I mean, I don't believe you're lying to me right now either. In which case, you don't understand how dangerous it is to be near me. So, if you trip, we can't have a meet cute, okay? I can't pick you up or anything like that. God damn it. You said that if you left, you would be killed. It's been some time since then. If you're careful to cover your tracks, you can make your escape. You do not belong here. You was telling the truth about being cursed. What a cruel burden to have to bear. I can't even imagine just how much he's given up on. How many lives he's inadvertently taken. and how he must have felt every time it happened. I can definitely imagine more people being afraid of him, honestly. But honestly, just because of how he, like, if he always had this even as a kid or anything like that, I mean, I guess his, like, maybe his family, like, are immune to it, like, unless his mom is dead, actually, then yeah. Maybe if, like, people, like, grew up, knowing that about anyone he touches, like, dies, well, no wonder he gets easily ostracized, but, like, even if they're afraid of him, they can't exactly do anything about it, like how they did to her, pitchforks and all that. Like, they would have to either like do things at a distance, or literally just run him out, honestly, or either choose to do like to ice himself like this for so long. If he was born like a normal person was, and like had this ability from birth, or quite honestly, like he came into the power at some point, then he started to become like a hermit, honestly. How much pain and loneliness must have given him? How much despair he must carry in his heart? How much sorrow must be weighing down on him? So, no. I will not leave. I will stay here with you. Leave this place. No, I will not. Why? Now he looks actually, now he looks a bit more, the concerned and nervous there right now. Why do you insist upon remaining in this house after learning what I can do? You have no reason to stay. Tell me then, why do you try to drive me out? If you don't care for others, as you say, if you're not concerned about anyone else, then what does it matter what I do? What does it matter if I die to your curse? You're a very kind-hearted man. You've been watching out for me since the day I arrived, doing whatever you can to not inadvertently kill me, to not afflict me with your curse. No. Here's what I think. No one capable of showing genuine care for others can honestly, truly dislike all people. They can't possibly be indifferent. No, that's the most, expression we had this whole time. And actually, his music choice, actually, like, this silent and, whispering voices like we're hearing right now, it fits the tone of him quite accurately, honestly. Like, this unspoken, like, very silent dread and sorrow, honestly. It fits a lot, actually. Like, it haunts him, that whispering and, like, incomprehensible voices and whispers, honestly. I think complements quite nicely. Not a big, I don't know too much about music, but that's how it feels to me. I'd so like to learn and, like, get better at how to piece of the emotion and, like, piece the music, honestly. That day we met before the stained glass window, you heard me out. You listened to my plight. You didn't try to chase me out then. That day I thought you to be a good person, and I still believe that. I simply assumed you would leave on your own when it was safe. Never thought you'd be so foolish as to want to stay in a house like this with a man like me. How does it make me foolish? Do you not value your life? Are you not afraid of death? Do you not find me unpleasant? Yes, I value my life. No, I'm not afraid of death, and, no, you're not unpleasant. The thing I fear most is loneliness. You're probably right that by now I could safely sneak away, get myself somewhere far from here. But even if I did, I would inevitably find myself in the same situation. And the way I can avoid that fate is to stay away from everyone. I mean, like, it'd be one thing to, like, find a way to dye your hair, or, like, wear something that covers it, like a outfit for all that, but, like, red eyes, that'd be a bit harder to actually, like, I guess, hide. Unless you somehow make fashionable sunglasses all the way back here in time, then yeah, that's not gonna happen. To live in solitude with no one to talk to, I know you understand how that feels. It terrifies me. I'm afraid of having to spend day after day with no one to talk to, no one to share my experiences, my thoughts, my feelings with. If that's what waits me out there, then I want to live with you. I want you to be an essential part of my life. Possible. Please, don't chase me out. You are a cruel girl. Never again will I allow myself to get close to someone. I want to watch them die. Never again. My mother was the first to die. I kind of figured. Childbirth. It happened shortly after my birth. Next was my wet nurse. I was already thinking that too, actually, honestly. My first thought was, if the dad's alive, then it means the nurses were the ones that held you. Oh my god. 2 deaths could be considered a coincidence. But as the number rose, it became clear that I was cursed. And I was forbidden from making contact with anyone, even at home. Regardless, being in the same house, accidents will happen. Numerous people lost their lives. Attendants unfamiliar with me, or those simply brushed up against me by mistake. Is it really just only your skin and hair which people come in contact that which killed? Or like, can you actually just rub against your clothes, honestly, and that would be a good I guess barrier so the curse doesn't hit. I couldn't take any longer. So you chose to move here, this remote mansion, to keep yourself away from your family. You were in prison here. You elected to live alone, so you wouldn't hurt anyone. For better or for worse, I was born into a noble house. So rather than abandon me, they provided me the means to live out of sight. I mean, like, for the sound of it, actually, like, unless, like, there's more details that he's not giving up, honestly, about his family, like, even after all the curse actually happened, they offered a place to stay, and, like, it was his idea to live somewhere else. They gave the opportunity for all of it, and they were still giving him food, actually. They still, like, care for him, but because of how he is, honestly, it's hard to fully, I guess, give him affection or love, honestly, to everything that happened. At least they're trying to be nice, but there's only so much they can do. I'll be very careful then. I'll do everything I can to ensure no accidents occur, to keep you here from being alone again. I'll not, for any reason, touch you. It's also probably another reason why I don't go in my room, and I sleep in the same bed. Who's like, he's the person who tosses and turns in his sleep, is like, smacks her face, and then, like, dead. But you have my promise. Your curse takes the life of anything you touch. I've been here for a while, and death has not befallen me yet. As long as they don't touch you, there shouldn't be a problem. Also, I apologize if this is simply me reading too much into things, but I feel like we're two of a kind. I fear being utterly alone more than anything, and I think you understand just how scary that is. So, why are you so stubbornly insistent on it being me? I'm sure there's someone else out there. Someone you're meant to be with. You may not have found them yet, but I believe someone like you eventually will. Because unlike me, you still have the vigor to press forward. It has to be you. I'm certain of it. Why? Because, well, I can feel it. It's true love. You can't tell me. No, I can. Just, oh, please don't get upset with me. I think I might really, really love you. We barely know each other. His was a power that evoked images of witches or demons, the unclean and the impure. A mere touch was all it took for him to strip man and beast alike of its life. So I see. Does that mean if he touches all three kinds of people in this world, they could all die? Man, beast, and investor alike? Or the investor is too inhuman for man or beast to be killed like that from that measure? The kappa was only cursed because of outside influences, not from touch, but from being exposed. God is quite a cruel streak to bestow such a power upon such a beautiful young man. A strange power was indeed, like something out of a fairy tale, like something confined to words upon the page. It seemed otherworldly, unbelievable. Nonetheless, as he demonstrated to the white-haired girl, his peculiar powers were indeed real. That said, the world had its fair share of oddities. It just so happens that those curiosities tend to remain hidden away, known only to a few. Although you laid eyes upon a number of unusual phenomena here yourself, Master, the doors to the past through which we had passed, this very mansion, and as a matter of fact, the two of us. Now, as you just saw, the white-haired girl found herself enraptured with this man and his accursed power. I like a man who can kill someone with just one touch. How do you think Michelle acted in response to her proclamation? Probably a bit more distance, honestly. I was gonna think of, like, if he's been living this for a while, he's still gonna be very careful and probably be very much more hard to warm up, honestly. He spent so long refusing to interact with others. No, unable to interact with them. As such, he was unsure how to respond. Yep, a complete dumbfoundedness. After standing there expressionless for a few moments, he muttered, "I'll consider it." With that, he returned to his chambers. While he was not someone who wore his heart on his sleeve, I personally do not believe he was completely devoid of emotions. Oh, that's even funnier, actually. The reason why you, the maid, did not appear in this story is just because, oh, you know that even if he touches you, even you, who've been immortal the entire time, would also die. So if he touches anyone else who's quote-unquote immortal, he would also die. Unless his power was gotten rid of, we can't possibly be this person. He's simply forgotten how to express them in his extended solitude. So I think he was, in that moment, in a state of complete panic. What do I do? What do I do? She had, after all, just assaulted him with a stream of incomprehensible declarations. That knowing the truth, she'd still wish to remain in the mansion, and that knowing the truth, she loved him. You barely know me. I never barely even talked to you. How the fuck do you love me? The love she declared for Michelle was not a fleeting puppy love. There was genuine tenderness and warmth to her words. But he had gone through his life shunned, feared, and pushed away. To him, that was normal. He'd never given anyone reason to have any fondness for him, so he found himself utterly unsure how to take the affection she was showing. Of course, he was not the only one rattled by the whole affair. Oh dear. Several days had passed since Michelle had asked for time to think, and they did not see each other at all. He hid from her. He had still yet to show himself again. This is all my fault. The white-haired girl paced anxiously through the halls in the off chance she might run into him. He's now taking a chance of boarding himself up in his own bedchamber. As per his request, though, she kept her distance from the bedchambers. Nevertheless, she began to worry about the fact that he had secluded himself for so long. So she worked up to her courage and made her way up to his room. What if he doesn't want to see me ever again? I didn't consider I might be overstepping my bounds before I opened my mouth. Every step she took was slow and laborious. Her mind raced with worry and doubt. I should at least tell him sorry. Rather than out of a desire to know how he felt, she was compelled by guilt and a desire to apologize. I said not to apologize. Well, I'm sorry for apologizing. Don't do that. I apologize for apologizing to say I'm sorry. They're walking for some time. She arrived at a door sitting in an utterly unlit hallway. She drew in a breath of musty air, then let it out, repeating the process several times. Next, she reached her hand up to knock on the door, then pulled it back, also doing this a number of times. How adorable she was. I wanted nothing more than to give her a little nudge. After all, she too was too sweet a girl for her worries to be anything but misplaced. I just can't find the courage. Maybe I should come back another day. What's the point of waiting? I need to apologize and get the weight off his back now. She gathered her courage once more, this time determined she would do it. The white-haired girl moved her small fist to the door, which then swung open, and she actually knocked in his face and died instantly. Oh. I'm sorry. Please, you must announce your presence. I almost walked right into you. Are you in that much of a hurry for a mishap? I'm sorry, the accident almost came to be! And I believe I told you to stay away from my chambers. You did, so I spent a long time debating whether I would, but I said I really want to tell you this. Oh, well, actually, I'm truly sorry. What? The other day I could barely manage to get the words in my head all the way to my mouth. There was no room in my mind for anything else. So I showed my own thoughts and feelings near to your face. I'm not considering that might be what you wanted. Just running non-stop, not thinking at all. That was terribly disrespectful to you. Completely selfish. You're a kind-hearted man, I truly believe that. But you're only being courteous because you're a nice man. I'm sure you have a little interest in the affections of a queer little girl. Wait, are you bi girl or are you just strange? It's definitely just mostly just the strange meaning, honestly. I still found it funny going through the Grace Attorney and they use the word queer honestly in there. It's still funny. So I would love it if I could stay here. It would be a wonderful blessing. But if you really don't want me here, and my feelings are imposing upon you, then I apologize. I'm sorry, and I'll take my leave of this house. I'm sorry. Don't be, my mind went blank for a moment. What? I find it difficult to comprehend you. The other day you were referring your intention to stay, and now you say you'll leave without a struggle. You hold up in your room for so long that I thought, you didn't want me around. To be honest, I want to stay here. I do. I think you should do whatever pleases you. Huh? You can stay, or you can leave. I'll not pressure you to do one or the other. So, I'm not imposing? I wonder if it's a thing of like the white-haired girl, like in a reincarnated stage, like always finds herself up to the mansion, but like she always has the opportunity to like stay or leave, honestly. And like no matter like what like happens, like she's not cursed to befall like death or anything like that. It's just that she's probably the one person who's around who can like is free for her own fate to go either which direction. She might have like lived a fine life in like the first door and third one. It just depends on where she was able to go, honestly, afterwards, honestly, from her circumstances. To tell you the truth, I had to think about that for some time. However, I now come to something of a solution. Since you're here, come to my room. But I thought I wasn't allowed to. We're not sleeping together. I don't want to touch you in your sleep. Just tossing and turning. To prevent what almost happened a few moments ago, so don't accidentally run into each other. Sorry. You're forgiven. Now come in. Okay. Are we gonna see that same thing in the bedroom, honestly? Like right here? Like we saw a silhouette of her, honestly, just so. So the memory was from that point of view? You know, if this whole story is actually just gonna be like between these two, and the like the tragedy isn't like it's gonna be some form of like whether she leaves or like she actually dies by actually touching him or anything like that. Oh god, don't tell me it's gonna do the Beastars thing too, honestly. God damn it, don't do that. God damn it. That I lost my train of thought for a second. That painting guy, honestly, if it's only just gonna be those two, Was he just mistaken? Like, did we tell him all the doors he went through, and like someone else is actually gonna appear at this mansion? A painter, actually? And they do all that? Unless that painting was actually talking about what happened vaguely in door 1. The actual painter who was like the father of the white hair girl, Giselle. Is this a necklace? If that's what it looks like to you, I suppose that means I succeeded. Pick it up. Oh. Oh, it's a little bell. Okay, that's sweet. It's adorable. Please make an effort to wear that while you're in the house. Oh my god, that's funny. I understand the practicality for it, but oh my god, that's funny. Because it's so dark, there always exists the risk that we might accidentally bump into one another. But try not to come up with a way to reduce that risk. Does that mean you didn't leave your room because you were working on this? So your hobby is you're a craftsman. If there's not candle making stuff in here, then man. That's right. Well, the reason what I have. I think most people would assume it was because they put you in a bad mood. That you didn't want to see them. I have little sense of how most people see the world. After who knows how long, then yeah. Sorry. Insults. I appreciate it though. I really am glad to know they put so much thought into a life together with me. It would be difficult not to, after the other day. I'm so happy right now. I can't think of any better word to describe it. I couldn't be happier. You're being dramatic. To tell the truth, I feel a little bad about it. Why? It seems rather impertinent to affix a bell to someone. Yeah, my first thought was a collar. Honestly, like an actual legitimate collar. Please, like, oh wait, oh my god. Is she, like, have to wear that around her neck, or can she just wear it around her wrist, honestly? Like, oh my god. You're not livestock, you're a person. That's why you turn it into a necklace. Why not a bracelet? If you thought that, why not just a wrist? Because, like, I don't know about you, but, like, if you walk very carefully, actually, like, wouldn't the bell not ring? But if you put on your wrist, actually, it'd be like, it'll ring more freely because you'd be moving your hand more often than anything else. You'd be moving your hand more often than your neck would. I think that'd be more practical. I don't know. Is that just me? I'll keep it on me at all times. I really, truly appreciate it, Lord Michelle. Don't call me Lord. Alright then, I'll just call you Michelle. And will you please call me Giselle? The windows. What? If we could open the windows. Huh. Never mind. I was just thinking you wouldn't need a bell at all if we could get some light in here. Then why wouldn't we open the windows, honestly, if, like, the darkness is what the thing about you're worried about is? I'm wondering, trying to think if there was ever another time in the story where, like, a bell was a prominent symbol. It was ever brought up once or twice in the other doors, but I don't think anything comes to mind. They can't be opened? They're rusted shut. We'll get some oil! All the windows have been shuttered for as long as I've been here. I assumed you had boarded them all up. That was done long before I ever arrived. After so many years here, though, I hardly consider it an inconvenience anymore. It also serves to repel wanderers. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, honestly. Oh, really? Is there something odd about that? No. Yeah, not really. It's practical. My pragmatic brain just says, yeah, that makes sense. Meh. I realized I had the wrong impression about a number of things. As I learn more, I see things in a different light. See you in a different light. Darkness. The light. See the light. I'm sure there's still plenty more for me to learn. Of all the people I've ever met, you're perhaps the most difficult to predict. Not only do you have no aversion to the darkness, you Dark has always been a close friend of mine. Which isn't to say I dislike the sun. Its light can simply be a bit too strong for me. I'm like some kind of unholy monster that can't be exposed to sunlight. You are anything but unholy. My name would suit you. Much better than me. Doll. Whoa. Hi. That day, when I first started to sell, why is this tearing, like actually, squelching organs and tearing fabric? What? Are we getting flashbacks from this door and door 2 for no random reason now, goddammit? I was wary of her, apprehensive. I didn't want her anywhere near me. But as my doubts about her faded, I began feeling something very different. As the lump in my heart had been melted away, I began to yearn for her to be at my side, knowing full well it couldn't possibly last, knowing full well how foolish it was. I found myself captivated by her. I found myself wishing to have her stay with me. Huh.